Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today's video will not be a long one, it's going to be quite a short video today. Now I'm basically just going to tie up a few loose ends with regards to the UK British single releases so that next week I'll be able to begin to show my American singles collection. So this video will be me showing a few later Beatles singles as well as a few Beatles related items and stuff like that. So the first thing I have to show is the Beatles movie medley. And here's the front cover. And if you look on the back, it's basically just a medley of all of those songs from the different Beatles films. And this was a release from the Real Music album, which is a compilation of all their songs from the films. Well, not all of them, but like the greatest hits of the film songs, if you like. So songs from A Hard Day's Night, Help, Magical Mystery Tour, and Let It Be. I don't actually know if there's any from the Yellow Submarine film. I can't quite remember, but I know from those other four films there's certainly some. There's certainly some on the album. So this is it down here, and it's backed with "I'm Happy Just to Dance with You," and I believe this whole thing is in stereo. And this came out in 1982 on the Parlophone label. And here's the B-side. Now this next copy is actually just the same as the copy I've just shown you. This is just a duplicate copy that I have. However, the next single is quite an interesting one. It's the single Free as a Bird, which was released in 1995. And it was from Anthology 1. So this is basically the first new Beatles song to be released since 1970, I believe. So, you know, I'm sure it would have been quite a big thing at the time. And I actually really like the song, which was, well, they took some demos that John Lennon have done of a song called Free as a Bird. But obviously, you know, it wasn't like the finished article by any means. It was just a few demos that he'd made, and then the other Beatles kind of dubbed their vocals and stuff over John Lennon's demos to make a complete song out of it for the Anthology album. And I think they did a really good job. I think it's a great song. And on the B-side is the song Christmas Time Is Here Again from one of the Beatles' Christmas Flexies. And if you haven't seen my video on that, then feel free to go and check it out, because I'll show all those. And what I really like about the Christmas Time Is Here Again on here is that they really remastered the sound quality, so it sounds fantastic on the B-side of this single. And it's a much cheaper and easier way to get that song. If you don't want to have to buy the original Flexi to get it, you can just buy the single for a few pounds, and then you can have these two fantastic songs. So I think this is a really nice thing to have. And here is the single. As you can see, the Apple label is very different to the one that was in the 70s. It's got a completely different layout. But here it is anyway. And the B-side, of course, is the split Apple. There we go. And this next single is Real Love. And this was also on the Anthology albums, except this one was Anthology 2 rather than Anthology 1. And again, this was a previously unreleased song. And what I like about this is that it's actually got an original sticker on the sleeve here. It contains exclusive unreleased version of Babies in Black as well. That's good. So here's the back with the two songs on, Real Love and Babies in Black. You may have heard the song Real Love on the John Lewis Christmas advert from, I believe, 2015. Someone did an excellent cover version of it, and I'm really sorry, but I can't remember the actual artist's name who did that cover version. But it was a really nice version, and I was pleased to hear it, because it was a very good way of getting the song out there so that more people could hear it. But anyway, this one also came out in 1990s. I believe this one came out in 1996 actually, because I've just noticed the year down there, 1996. And this is from the Anthology 2 album. And here we've got the Apple label again. However, it's not the usual Apple label with the full Apple on side 1 and the split Apple on side 2. It's just a generic black and silver label with the Apple logo at the top there. So this is the Real Love single. And here's the B-side. Now, that's actually the end of my UK releases, but I've got a couple of other interesting things to show in this video. So this here is a bootleg of the Beatles concerts in Japan. As you can see, they've got the Japanese flag up there. And I believe this was recorded in 1966, I might be wrong. Here's the back of the sleeve. It has 4 tracks: Rock and Roll Music, She's a Woman, Day Tripper, and I Feel Fine. And they're all taken from a concert. I don't know if it's the concert they do at the Buckenden place or if it's a completely different one. I'm not 100% sure on that. But this is it, the bootleg EP that I've got. And it's on a very nice blue vinyl, and it's just got a blank white label on either side. Unfortunately, you don't get much information with this bootleg, really. But yeah, the sound quality is pretty good, and it's a nice little piece, I think. So I'm so pleased to have this. Now here I have 3 picture discs, and they each contain a Beatles interview. However, the interview is actually the same on all 3 discs. Now, it took me a long time to actually find any information on these picture discs, but I'll show you them first before I tell you what I know. So, I've got some slightly weird images on them, and as you can see, they've got some fragments of Beatles lyrics. And there's the back. Not too much on the back there. And here's the next one. Has lots of lyrics on this side. It's got Hold Me Tight here, and it has also She's Leaving Home. And there's the back. And the third and final of these picture discs that I have is coming up now, and it's this one here. And here's the other side. Again with some lyrics on. It's got She Said, She Said in the bottom right corner, and it's also got just some information and a few other bits. That's Cold Turkey actually in the top right corner there. Now, from what I can gather about these picture discs, apparently they were released as a set at some point, and all these images here are actually from the Beatles Illustrated Lyrics, which was a book released, I think perhaps in the 70s, just of all the Beatles lyrics, obviously, but they all have some really weird pictures in, and that's what these weird things are on the picture discs. But yeah, it was quite difficult because they seemed to be quite obscure items. But you know, I think that they're quite interesting pieces anyway. Now, the next couple of things I have to show aren't strictly Beatles, but they're sort of Beatles related. So this is an EP from the 60s by a group called the Typhoons. And they were I believe, Japanese tribute band. And they do 4 songs from A Hard Day's Night. And you've got the title track, And I Love Her, I Should Have Known Better, and Tell Me Why. And here's the back. So it just tells you about the 4 songs there. Doesn't really tell you a great deal about the band though. There's Embassy Records. Still made by Gowden Lofthouse. This is a British record. And here is the label. It's on Embassy, which is a well-known budget label. And it's on like a sort of dark pink, magenta type label, which I think looks quite nice. But yeah, I mean, the covers, they're okay, but it's nothing to write home about, really. And as you can see, Recording Fest published in 1964. To me, this is probably just a budget label trying to cash in on the success of the Beatles music and the Beatles film in 1964 by releasing just an EP of pretty cheap covers, to be honest. But this is still interesting, I suppose. And finally, I have a single from the Typhoons, and this is also on Embassy, and this is a version of I Feel Fine, also released, I believe, in 1964. And on the back is a track not done by the Typhoons, but it's a track by Mike Redway, and it's A Message to Martha. I don't actually know that song, so okay, so that's the end of this video, which was quite a bit longer than I meant it to be. But anyway, I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and also a very happy new year to everyone watching, and I hope you are all having a very nice 2017 so far. So I'll hope to see you all next time.